GMGM everyone, we're live. Hope you can hear me. I'll be posting the link in the Telegram channel shortly. Let me share my
guys.
Let me share my screen. Share my screen briefly. All right, so I'll be freezing my video because I feel my video is lagging. I can't really tell why. So I'll just freeze my video. You can hear me clearly, right?
Yeah, I can hear you clearly.
You can hear me clearly, yeah?
Yeah, I can hear you clearly.
Okay, let me post this link. Is my video still lagging?
Yeah, it lags. Even in the live stream from YouTube, it still lags.
Okay, I'll have to just freeze it. I'll have to freeze it. Alright guys, we're live. Just had to post it. Okay, so let's get started. I think my video should be a bit better now. What do you think?
Yeah.
What do you think? It's a bit better,
It's
right?
better now.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Yeah, so let's get started. What do you think about the state of the market? GMGM guys, for those just joining, please feel free to share the link and invite anyone you want to. Yes, what do you think about the state of the markets currently?
We just had a small amount of correction.
It's Friday. It's Friday. Before we jump onto some, yeah.
Yeah. So, and I think someone said is about 12 billion or 12 billion dollars worth of options, Bitcoin options, between Bitcoin and Ethereum options are ending today. So, we probably will be expecting a lot of volatility this weekend. So, like we all know, today is Friday. Fridays are mostly characterized by retraces, red candles and all that good stuff. So it will probably be an interesting weekend to see if when all these things come together. Let's see how it plays out for the weekend. But all in all, we've seen Bitcoin break the resistance. We've seen alts try to rally a little bit. So it's showing signs of life, and since we're going into, we're already in the the third week of the month. So this should be really interesting going forward because we are no longer in the early week or early beginnings of January. We are now getting closer to like mid, or we are currently in mid-January. So whatever would happen, would begin to happen really fast. So yeah, that's my outlook on today and on January.
Yeah, GMGM everyone, please take some time to retweet and share the link. And also, most importantly, we would love you to also share some of the trades you took. Very, very important. You can drop it in the comments or something, or you can share it in TG when we comment. Or starting from the live stream, you can leave it in the comments how some of those trades performed. Just like someone said yesterday that he lost all the profits because he refused to take profit. He didn't manage his trade well. So the pump that happened, he made good profit, but he lost everything. So it's very important you communicate these things. And for those that actually took the trades and made good profit, you also share that so that some persons can be able to like draw some strength and get some motivation from that also. So let's try to do some of these things. Very important. So let's look at the markets before we jump to analysis. Yesterday, River was at $17. I said it didn't make sense me going to buy. I didn't look at the charts, none of that. But yeah, today it pumped to almost $40 today. So if you had jumped in yesterday, you would have made 100%. But I did not. It didn't just make sense to me buying back where I sold. So that was majorly why I did not. Dash is still pumping. Dash is over $93, which I'm not surprised. We actually said this since Tuesday that Dash will keep running until it gets to that resistance level of 90 something dollars, which that's where it is at right now. If it flips there, then Dash should be heading to 150. That's the next zone it will be heading to. If you didn't spot buy Dash or you didn't secure a bag of like privacy projects we've been talking about since late last year, we said it that this year is going to be a year too for privacy projects. We're bullish on it. If you're not positioned, then that means you've not been taking action for most of what we've been seeing. Because Dash and Verge remains one of or two of the most undervalued privacy projects, and also Dusk. Yeah, but Dash is an OG, and Dash being below a billion, it was even below 700 million by this time last week. Being below those prices was actually like a giveaway price, like extremely cheap. So even at 1 billion, Dash is still at a very, very good price. So don't be surprised that you're seeing it at almost $100. Overall, aside River, Dash, Pump, they dropped the news. I'm trying to see if I can recall the news, but they actually dropped the bullish news for Pump, and I saw, I think the founder saying something about they will launch a coin. I didn't really digest the news well, but I do know they dropped the bullish news on Pump or for Pump Phone, which is why it's actually moving this morning. Overall, if you look at the market, you're seeing lots of red. You should not be surprised if you're seeing all of this. We told you guys yesterday morning that usually Thursday, Friday, we expect corrections in the markets. This should be like a norm now. We still emphasized on it yesterday that you should expect to see these corrections in the market, unless you just want to be hopeful that it won't happen. But based on statistics and what we always see, expect that correction. There is a 7/10 chance that you will see that correction, which is what we've seen, which was why we said it too that if you're getting on any position, which I think was just one position we got in on the turn trade, manage your positions very well. Ensure you have your SL, ensure you're adjusting your SL to break even once it starts moving towards your direction. Get we actually said that while for other trades we wait for them to come down to our entry, get to give us better entry. We said that Thursday, and on Tuesday, right here, Tuesday, we also said it that when BTC started moving and Wednesday when it moved to 97 or thereabout, we also said it that what we are hoping to get is BTC should just range a bit. That's Wednesday, because by Friday we'll be expecting a correction. Late Thursday, Friday we should be expecting a correction, which should affect the market. So most of these things go a long way. If you're paying attention, most of these things, it actually goes like a long way. You zoom out further on a weekly chart, you see Pump Fund has gradually been making some good moves too. Yes, you can see that clearly. It's been doing pretty well. But overall, on the weekly, we have some assets that are still fairly at a very, very good entry price. Very good. But we'll jump to the charts next. Let's see what the chart is saying. So this is BTC charts. If you go and watch yesterday, there was something I was saying yesterday. I told you guys yesterday that BTC was somewhere here. Was at yesterday. I told you guys they were expecting it to correct to this level by Friday. That's my expectation, which we actually saw that happen late yesterday evening. But it was said here yesterday that I'm expecting BTC to correct to this level. So I opened a long and it just tapped there and went back up, and I adjusted my SL and break even to protect some profit. After a while, it just took me out and I just left it. I didn't get back. This was a yesterday trade, yesterday afternoon. That was when this trade was done towards evening. But yeah, you could see BTC had to come back and correct properly, like we discussed yesterday. Now it's ranging. this range will most likely bring about a break towards the upside. I'm expecting a break towards the upside, not the downside. Yeah, that's what I'm expecting. So what did this correction do? This correction messed up Litecoin charts. First of all, if you guys recall, I told you guys Litecoin is very, very weak. Like it's really weak. We had a trade on LTC. We had a trade on LTC from, I think it's from Monday or so, Monday or Tuesday. This was the first one, which we actually took profit from. This one we exited. This one was taken yesterday. This was taken yesterday. And it went up, tapped on this trend line. This is a trend line, and rejected. Got to almost 1 to 1, almost, because this trade is 1 to 2.2. Got to almost 1 to 1, and it couldn't close above the trend line very well, so it's rejected. Rejected. And once that BTC did that and dump, if you were on this trade and you never adjusted your SL to break even after it started moving, you obviously hit an SL. For me, it was a break even. I didn't secure profit. I didn't secure profit, so it was a break even from this trade, and it went all the way down. Litecoin went to as low as 69. As low as 69. That's tell you how weak Litecoin is. Yeah, so staying out of Litecoin for now. That's correction too from BTC also forced Eagle very down. Like forced it down to like get back into the entry. I didn't get back though. I'm still watching. But I took it back to our entry. It also brought AVAX down. If you notice, that exited this trade, brought AVAX down to this point, which is not a bad point. But I'm not getting in yet. I'm still just observing the market. It also brought Zcash. We had exited this Zcash trade. It hit full TP. If you notice, it brought Zcash back to entry. This is actually a good position to get back in on Zcash. But the only issue is, I'm still bullish on Zcash, by the way. The only issue is most times Zcash can dump aggressively, especially if it breaks this level. It might dump all the way to this point. Most times it's very, very volatile, like Zcash, very, very volatile. So I've not gotten back into the trade. I'm still just observing it. Which other trade? Your Thorn here, able to exit this Thorn trade. Extend Thorn trade at break even. It was majorly at break even. Thorn trade was exited. Now all of this was, like I said, based on our expectation that BTC was going to correct. So at times like that, you want to ensure that you're not joking with your trade management. Like very, very important. You don't want to joke with it. Trade starts moving. It's either you use trailing stop loss to protect profits, or the easiest thing, if you're not doing any of that, you move your SL to break even. If it goes back against you because of BTC correction, you have no issues. Just took you out of the trade, and it will obviously give you a better entry. Eventually, to give you a better entry. So right now we're actually watching, and if you recall, to yesterday, I still said something on the BTC chart that BTC has done almost $7,000 run this week, and it's only ideal from Monday this week. It ran from 90K all the way to almost 98K, so it pumped minimum of $7,000. It's only smart, it's only ideal that it does a correction. People that got in Sunday, Monday, they want to take profits. The week is closing. Most people close their trades weekends, and they start getting back in on Monday. Most people, they treat it as a full business, so they don't hold trades over the weekend. Yet, especially institutions, most times they just trade Mondays to Fridays. Yeah, then they leave the weekends, they get back into the market. It's from Sunday night to Monday morning. That's when they start gradually getting back into the market. So when you tend to see like some of these dumps that we usually see most times on Fridays, because of people like exiting the market, especially when that was a good week. If it was actually a good week, that actually performed well. So it's only wise you see some level of correction in the market. No hard feelings, it's just normal. You just treat it like so. Hype also got back to our entry yesterday, but it's based on that BTC correction. It brought it almost back to our entry. Currently, I'm not backing on any of this trade. Okay, the only trade I just opened today, this morning, is Asta. Asta, yeah. This is the only trade I just opened this morning. The Asta trade. So if you're interested in getting into this Asta trade, so it's Asta that I just opened this morning. So you can see my SL is at 0.64 and it's still at my entry because it's this morning I got in on that trade. Then the TP is at 0.85. It's just the 1 to 2, nothing serious. It's just 1 to 2 trade. So I think it's just Asta. I don't think there's any other trade again. So I'm carefully watching the Asta trade while overall watching the market. Metis got down, it has bounced a bit. If you notice, Metis, it dropped yesterday. Dropped yesterday and it has bounced. I just took a very, very small position here to just track the price action. Very, very small. And right now I've already moved my SL to break even in case it gets back. So most of these trades, I'm not even chasing to secure profits. Once it starts moving, I just move to break even. If it gets back, takes me out at break even and goes to lower low. But if it doesn't and it runs all the way to where I'm expecting, then we make some good profit. So for now, we're just observing the market. Maybe over the weekend, I'll look at people because it's almost back to initial entry from I think Sunday or Monday that I took this trade. It's gradually getting back there. So maybe later I would look at people. Dash, we're still at that resistance, trying to go above it. If you notice, you can see how it bounced off this purple line. This purple line has been on the screen. If you check our previous Dash chart, you see this purple line, this level has been there since. So you can see how it bounced and it's trying to break above this resistance. Once that happens, it will be heading towards 132. There we have like another resistance. Again, 132, that's where to be heading towards. See, we have a rectangle there already. So it will be heading towards 132. Yeah. It will be heading towards this level once that happens. So what this zone it's facing is a critical level where if things don't go as planned, if the market nukes, it can pump aggressively because we saw that happen last year from this same level. It actually dropped aggressively. So if we're unable to go above it, then still expect it down. But I'm skeptical that I'm actually optimistic rather that we'll go above that level personally. Yeah, so as personal, what do you think? What do you think currently about some of these projects?
Well, I don't really have much data on the angle of this project going, but what I can say basically is if we can get a more stable market, right, most of these tokens would move. That's the part I'm looking at it from. So let's just look, for example, these guys at Kujira, we just know them as guys that are shipping, but we've not seen any movement, any price action from their own angle. So if we can get Bitcoin, right, or if Bitcoin could do its thing and then range for a while, just general positive outlook in the market, we would see most of these tokens move, like really, really move. And I've said this thing over and over again, and probably at some point it might start sounding repetitive or boring, is when the market would get interesting, at least for me, is when we start seeing that 5x, 10x move within, let's say, 3-4 days or within a week. When we start having those kind of crazy moves that people start, alt season is back, that is where the market gets interesting for me. This is largely because of most of them are below October, November prices, right? And for most of them to even go back to those prices, some of them have to do like 10x to go back to those prices. And we are talking about really good projects. We are not like projects that are abandoned or stuff like that. So when we see those kind of moves, that is when the market now gets exciting. That is when we should start whether start getting into positions or start being excited that okay, things are going to start pumping. But if we don't see those things yet, for me, the market is still basically where it is. Bitcoin can still go up and maybe even get to 100K or above, maybe 105, and all to still be, ranging. But all in all, we are getting some good news. We are still getting some, not so good news as in the political, scene. But we just hope that these things affect the market in a positive way. But this is January, right? And we are hoping that this year is much more better. But like you said, the market is healthy. The market is good, but we just need it to be better.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. We need to see some good movements from altcoins. Like we really, really, really need to see some good movements from altcoins. I totally agree. But another thing that we need to also factor in is we have too many altcoins right now. There's little money to go around. Even if we're seeing over 100 billion in trading volume daily, there's little money to be able to push all of these altcoins at once. So they'll move like in badges, and the altcoins with the best token distribution and tokenomics would always stand out. The altcoins with whales holding a huge chunk long term would always stand out. The altcoins that have like a clear defined profit system and revenue generation system would always stand out. So I still feel like this year and moving on, we would see OG projects eventually start running and doing some good numbers. Personally, that's what I think. And why I say so is because they have proven that they can last for a very, very long time. Imagine projects that have been around since 2016, like Dash. I think Dash has been around since 2015. Verge 2016, 2015 to 16. Monero, I think that was the year for privacy coins. I think it's even beyond 216. I think maybe it's 215 or thereabout. But that was the year for privacy coins. We have most of these privacy coins, including Zcash, created that same year. I think it's 215. Most of them, it was that same year that they were launched. So when we have most of these OG projects that are still around and they are still tweeting, they are still communicating, they are still building, they are still holding conferences, naturally people start pivoting to get some exposure because they have been able to prove that they have a better product, if I would use that word, when compared to newer projects. Most newer projects, after 6 months or 1 year, they're out. And that thing they've been able to prove too is they've shown you an established chart that you can read to see that, okay, they are still at their all-time low, or this is where they are at. Whereas for newer projects, you would most likely be buying in when they are still very high. And afterwards, they'll just continue dumping for the next 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years. So I think gradually people will start pivoting to the OG projects, which is why we're actually paying attention to some of them. If you guys notice, it's not necessarily all, it's just some. And I think LTC remains one of the oldest that has not even moved an inch. Instead, it's still making lower lows. So let's take some questions before we round up. Kennedy is saying that LTC fell below 70, also confirmed from technical fundamentals price to enter. The LTC is actually at a good price. I've said it that is why I'm trading LTC and futures is it can make you very good money and at the same time it can also mess your account up because it's very volatile, like extremely volatile. And that's why I also said it yesterday that the major challenge LTC is facing is it's still below $85. If it's able to go above 85, that's a major resistance. Then it can easily get to 100, 120, 130. And I strongly, very strongly believe that if LT gets back to 135 and breaks above 135, nothing is stopping us from seeing $200. Like there's literally nothing stopping us from seeing $200 per LTC. Personally, that's my opinion. I'm expecting that, but it has to be after we have gone above 85 and after we get back to 135 and flip it. That's when we can now start seeing $200. It's just like the same thing happening with Dash. Yeah, so it's the same thing too. But if we have been unable to reclaim those support levels, it will be very, very difficult. Like really, 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 really difficult. But yeah, I still have my eyes on Uni because Uni hasn't moved too. Probably I'll still be observing Metis because Metis is back to our entry. It's really back to our entry. So it gives us another good opportunity to long. The only reason why I'm a bit skeptical for Metis is because of the Bitcoin futures expiration contracts that we're expecting soon. And today is Friday. So if it stays where it is till tomorrow, then I'll start exploring to like jump in towards Saturday night or Sunday. Please share next time to take position on waivers. I didn't buy the waivers actually. I said it yesterday, it was at 17. I didn't buy. Please share good enterprise because I just spoke about this. Someone is asking, can we still enter the Asta trade? Yes, it's still a fresh trade, so you can actually still jump in on the trade. Yeah, so Spencer, do you have any last stuff to drop for us before we call it a day?
Well, nothing yet from this side. Just looking at general markets to see. I'm basically looking out for an opportunity. No, the last time we spoke about not buying some of our old tokens like what's it called, Orai, Ruji, and the rest of it. So it got me thinking a bit, and I'm like, okay, what other projects, that doesn't fall under the category of they've been building, but they've not been able to break through, right? But I'm looking at the category of they've built a product, they've broken through before, but they are just down just because of market sentiment that presents like a very solid opportunity. So those are like the kind of tokens I'm looking at to start scaling in. So maybe if I get ones that I feel confident about, then I'll share it in the group and maybe people can, look at it and maybe start taking positions for those kind of tokens.
I think
And
AR
also,
is a good one. I think AR is a good one.
Yeah, but I'm looking for something that, well, AR too, but I'm also looking for something that would give you that 5x, 10x potential, right? That's another thing that I'm really, really, really looking at 5x, 10x potential.
Okay, accept that though. Accept that. All right, guys. So thanks to everyone for joining. I think that's all we're taking for today. See you guys on Monday and ensure to manage your trades properly. Bye, guys.
All right, guys. Bye-bye.